Hello and welcome to this video today on configuring ServPC for initial startup. We're going to get started with the ServPC application that's been installed on my Carlson tablet. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it started here for you. So when we get started on the software here, we're going to start up a brand new job and configure the software for first time use. So as we get into the software, one of the first things we're going to be prompted is whether if we want to continue the last job, which in this case is a default job, or if we want to start up a brand new job. And to show you some of the features that are found inside of ServPC, we're going to say let's select a new job. So we're going to tap on the select new/existing job. And I have, in my case, a Carlson ServPC data folder that the software has created for me. So what I want to do is tap on the folder icon up on the top toolbar that has a folder with a plus sign next to it. And I'm going to create a brand new folder, and it's going to prompt me that it'll also create a new subfolder. I'm going to say yes to this, and I'm going to give it a folder name of today's date, or actually maybe a job ID. So maybe how about a job ID of job 1A is my job ID. Green check. And I'll go into that job folder and I'll give it a folder or a job ID of job 1A as well. And we'll hit green check. And that'll load up this job. And by default, what I want to do now is define the coordinate system zone projection that I'm going to be working in. So I'm currently not in Kentucky. What I want to do is define the coordinate system zone that I'm going to be working in. So I'm going to tap on the Edit Projection List button down in the lower right-hand corner of the screen and choose the coordinate system definition that I want to work in. So here's where I can choose, for example, I'm going to say Add Predefined. And in this case, I might want to scroll through my list and I might choose, California Zone 6, for example, if that's where I'm working, or I can come down and I'm, for example, working in Iowa, so I could choose Iowa North, or if I'm working out in the Rocky Mountain areas, I can choose any one of those locations. But in this case, what I'm going to do is tap in the country drop list where I have the USA NAD 83, and if I'm getting into areas where I have regional coordinate systems or the low distortion projections, for example, in my case, in Iowa, they have the Iowa Regional Coordinate System Zone. So I am in the Dubuque area right now. So that's the Dubuque-Davenport Zone 11. So I've got those loaded in here. I'm going to tap on Zone 11 and use that. And that's going to become one of my favorites. So I'm going to green check. And because I don't plan to do any work in the Kentucky area anytime soon, I'm going to tap on that one and remove it from my list with the delete button. We'll say yes to that. And I can add as many regional or state plane coordinate system zones into my list as I want. If I want to view any information on that zone, I can tap the view button and I'll have my information in here. If I want to then edit that information, I can do so. I can also, though, go ahead and add user defined. So if I have new projections or definitions that are added from time to time, I can just choose the add user defined option. And in here, I can also choose the load file option. And this is where it's going to allow me to change and add in Carlson defined SYS files, or if I choose the drop list in here, this is where I can also load in, for example, PRJ projection files that are commonly associated with, for example, Esri projection files. So I have a means to get projection information in from a variety of different sources, but in this case, I'm happy with the Dubuque-Davenport Zone 11 that I'll be working in today. So I'm going to tap green check and continue on with my job setup. So I can review the Format tab to the right of my System tab, and I can choose information of how my information is going to be displayed to me on the screen. I'll look at the Options tab. And one of the most important things I like to advise new clients is to timestamp each point, so that as you're out doing your survey work, especially as you're looking at not only the positions of your points as you're collecting them, you're looking at the time of when these points were collected. So as you're evolving your data over the course of days, months, sometimes even years, you know that fourth dimension, that time variable as you're moving forward. Okay. So Serve PC is highly customizable. You can scroll through all these options in here and take a look at what kinds of options make sense to you. When it comes to the stakeout tab, you can also choose the amount of precision that you want to see. Do you want to have voice prompting enabled so you can have the audio feature turned on? And for the benefit of a smaller recording here today, we'll just leave some of these initial settings as the defaults. So I'm going to go ahead and hit green check on this initial job setup and move on. And for right now, we will not connect to any kind of equipment. So I'll just say continue without connecting. And the next thing I want to do is tap on button number 5, my feature code list. And in my feature code list, right now I have a blank library. So what I want to do is make a few quick little changes to my feature code list. So the first one is down the very right-hand corner, the lower right-hand corner, is my special codes button. And in this, I'm going to go into my special codes, and I want to make some quick little changes and match up the Serve PC special codes with those that are found inside of the Office software of Carlson survey, so that if I'm using field to finish, that I can make sure that these are synchronized together. So for example, rather than using the ST code in Serve PC, I'm going to say, let's use the BEG code. So I'll use BEG so that the Office software found inside of Carlson survey in the Office is going to be used as the same as inside of Serve PC. So these are now synchronized to be the same, and then the same special codes for PCs and PTs are the same. Offset horizontal, offset verticals, and again, these are all customizable, and you can make whatever changes to these that you want. But for the most part, I'm good with the rest of these defaults. But these are the values that I want to set for my use. So I'll tap on green check. And then what I want to do is add in some special codes. Now, I'm not going to build an extensive list here today, but maybe what I do want to do is add in just maybe 2 or 3 for you, just to show you what the process is. So I'll tap on the add button. And for example, a common code that I might want to put in here is, let's say a found iron pin is a very common one, FIP. Layer might be pipe. Keep it simple, green check. Full text is found iron pin. And you can make this as descriptive as you want or as short as you want. And green check. And this type of entity will be just a point type of entity as we just place it through field to finish on our map screen. We'll green check. We might go along and shoot an EP code. So I'll choose add, and we'll say EP for edge of pavement, and layer will be maybe road, for example. And full text is, I'll just call it EP. And this will be, for brake line purposes, maybe a 3D polyline. Green check. We might also have maybe something that might represent a 2D polyline. How about maybe an overhead power line? Yes, overhead power lines carry elevation, but we don't want to use those for surface model considerations. So we will say add overhead power line, OHP, and we'll say this is a util layer, green check, and overhead power line is the layer, and they'll say this is a 2D polyline. And to give it some weight in here, we'll make it a little bit thicker, and we'll hit green check. So those are 3 different types of codes that I want to add into my library. And again, you can make your code library as extensive as you like. And for this case, I'm just going to go ahead and back arrow out of this, save my changes now, and we'll tap yes. So now as I take my shots in the field eventually with whatever gear that I have, whether it's a total station, robotic total station, GNSS receiver, what have you, as I describe those shots, I would just describe those shots using the type of code that I've described, and Serve PC will do the rest for me. So that concludes this video session. We'll continue on with more data later on. Thank you for your time.